Everybody shut up! Just hold the camera up, go live! The United States of America versus Kentrell Golden, a.k.a. Lil Top, a.k.a. YB. Not guilty!
Okay? No, yeah. You still won't come back? What about YB?
We got some big news for you today, RIZZLE fam, and this one made a lot of folks hella happy. At this point, you may have heard or seen something about it, but NBA YoungBoy finally broke his silence about his verdict of being not guilty in his court case, and how he really did it. So NBA YoungBoy won a major legal victory in California court on the 15th of July, after a jury found him not guilty of gun possession charges. Even though the jury took a day and a half to make up their mind about it, YB was still innocent in the end. Now, beating a federal gun case doesn't happen often. Statistics show that the state usually wins 90% of the time. With that said, it makes YB's case even more impressive. NBA YoungBoy is already a popular name in the rap circle, and he's growing even more popular by the day, not just because of his music, too. If you ain't already know this man just cannot stop having trouble with the law. He's had so many cases and violations that it's pretty hard to keep a track at this point. But let's take it back to where his gun possession charge actually comes from. The case that YB and his lawyers beat actually started on March 22nd of 2021. The police pulled YB over as they attempted to serve a federal warrant on him. They had a warrant for gun possession charges that came from a video shootout in Baton Rouge, Louisiana in 2020. In September of 2020, YB and a dozen other guys had a bunch of guns while they were filming a music video out in Baton Rouge, in some sort of abandoned home or something like that. Someone called the 5-0 on them, and that led to all of them being arrested. The police took all their guns, substances, and money that belonged to YB and his dudes. Because of this incident, YB wasn't supposed to have any guns on him in the upcoming period since he's been a felon. Fast forward a little bit to 2021, and you got YB getting pulled over by the cops with a freaking warrant. If YoungBoy had any type of firearm with him, he'd be in huge trouble. So the police asked YB if they could search his car, and he plays along in the beginning. However, the police managed to find a gun inside his Mercedes Maybach. YB starts tripping because he realized what would happen to him if the cops found out about the strap. So what does he do? He tries to escape. He tried running away from the scene in order to avoid the arrest, but the cops eventually caught up to him. As the media described it, it was a high-speed chase with the cops trying to pull YB over. Eventually, he stops the car and starts running on foot. That's when the cops had to use their canines, and they got to YB pretty quick. You just can't duck the feds like that, man. So what the cops found in his car was an FNX 45, a .45 caliber pistol along with some ammo right there on the floorboard of his car. NBA YoungBoy was charged with possession of a firearm and ammunition by a convicted felon. So he got arrested, and he evaded the cops, and a gun was found in his car. At this point, as a previously convicted felon, he was looking up to 10 years in prison if the jury was to find him guilty. Luckily for YB, he had a hella good team of lawyers ready to back him up. But before we get to that, let's see what kind of dirt the prosecutors tried to throw on YoungBoy. They tried convincing the jury that YB was guilty because he tried to flee upon being pulled over. So the first thing they got him on was resisting arrest. Why is he running away if he ain't guilty? That was their thinking anyhow. Then they argued that the gun found in his car was purchased by someone from YB's clique, a person that he knew. They tried to link this to the gun that YB has in one of his pics on Instagram. The photo that they used was allegedly taken in a jewelry store in Philly, and the gun from the photo is the same gun found in YB's car, according to their story. Lastly, the prosecutors tried to use some of the lyrics from YB's music against him. They used lyrics from the tracks Gunsmoke, Lonely Child, and Life Support. He referenced the FNX type of gun in the song Gunsmoke, so they tried using that tactic too. Let's see what that amazing legal team behind YB did in order to beat this case. Everyone agrees that they did a fantastic job and that none of this would ever be possible if it wasn't for their outstanding work. Amazing job by YB and his lawyers to beat this case. The evidence was really stacked against them, but they did it anyways. I think they easily beat the Louisiana case too because all the video evidence in YB with the guns was thrown out and they have no witness to go against YB's story. YB must have a great crew because they all took charges for him and nobody snitched. His legal team said that he was completely unaware of the outstanding warrant at the time. The real reason why he started running once he was pulled over was that he panicked. First, the argument they used in order to turn down the fact that YB was resisting arrest was that he was in shock. Anything you do with some sort of emotional response does tend to get bonus points with court, unless it's something way overboard, and this is not something of that sort. Then comes the gun. So, okay, first off, YB's lawyers told the jury that the gun that was in the photo was a replica, not a real thing. Second, they failed to match the images to that of the real one found in YB's car. His lawyer therefore asked the evidence to be discounted, and it was. On top of all of that, YB's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the gun that was in his car. The forensic examiner admitted that no fingerprints were found on it. The grip, the magazine, the shells found in the car, none of it, man. There was none of his DNA on any of that stuff. None of it, man. None of it. Guns are conducive to DNA tests more than fingerprint tests, but the DNA test results came in negative as well. That means that those allegations that were made against YB just didn't stick, and they had to be dropped as well. The defense team also successfully tackled the accusations of evidence found in YB's lyrics. That too is false information. Here's why. Although the controversial tactic of using lyrics in court has been known to sometimes work, it wasn't the case this time around. The lawyers working for YB used a scientific study that was conducted not too long ago. It was a study in which lyrics from a song called A Boy Named Sue by Johnny Cash were read to a bunch of people. Some of them were told it was a rap song, others that it was a country song. The people who thought it was a rap song had a more negative connotation about the song than the ones who believed that it was a country song. After that, there was no way that you could use YB's drill rap lyrics against him. Using lyrics to support a case is nothing but prejudice. The prosecutors must have been furious at this move by the lawyers defending YB, but it was a real creative way to use scientific data to support their defense. Seriously, man. Just because YB is a hardcore rapper, that doesn't necessarily have to do anything with the case in front of a jury. In the end, as you know, the verdict came in for YB as not guilty. A lot of the evidence that the prosecution had on YoungBoy was, well, just not strong enough. All their attempts to have YB found guilty were unsuccessful. YoungBoy himself truly believed that he was innocent. He even said it out loud while he was hugging his lawyer, thanking him for all the help in beating the case. What happened after YoungBoy got out of court was a complete showdown. As he got out of the building, he caused a frenzy because his fans were outside waiting for him. He was hugging fans as he got out, but he quickly decided to get out of there. The fact that the first thing he did was he got out and hugged his fans warmed up a lot of people's hearts. The fans didn't hide their affection either. Man loves his fans so much. Gotta love YB, man. Salute to all the people showing YB their support during the case. He had support even before the case finished. A lot of people were there for him, and some of them are pretty famous. Birdman was one of those people who were with YB at all times during the trial. They even shared a photo after YB got out of the building after the first day of trial. YB also took a photo with Floyd Mayweather, who's also been showing his support throughout this case. His daughter was a kid with YB, so it's nice to see that he cares and supports his family no matter what. In the end, we shouldn't forget that YB is still facing another case. One down, one more to go. He's still in home confinement, and he still has to beat the Louisiana case too. Although most people are speculating that it won't be too difficult for YB to beat that case. We'll just see about that soon enough though. But what are y'all reactions to NBA YoungBoy getting out and beating this case? Let us know in the comment section below. Come on now. You like this one? Be sure to check out this next one. And as always, remember to keep it RIZZLE.